Welcome back, fearless explorers. Today, we're diving into the nightmarish creatures that once ruled Earth, monsters so terrifying, you'll be thankful they're extinct. But before we begin, smash that like button if you're ready for a journey into the ancient abyss, subscribe for more prehistoric terror, and check out Part 1 and Part 2 if you missed the horrors we've already uncovered. Now, let's meet the ultimate predators that would make even modern nightmares seem tame. This is Monsters of the Past, Part 3. The Megalania, scientifically known as Varanus priscus, was a colossal monitor lizard that roamed the ancient landscapes of Australia during the Pleistocene epoch, approximately 50,000 to 1.6 million years ago. This formidable predator, often described as a dragon-like creature, was the largest known terrestrial lizard to have ever existed, reaching lengths of up to 7 meters and weighing as much as 600 kilograms. Its sheer size, combined with a venomous bite, made it one of the most terrifying apex predators of its time. The Megalania inhabited the open woodlands, grasslands, and scrublands of prehistoric Australia, sharing its environment with other megafauna such as giant kangaroos, diprotodons, and thylacines. Its reign as a top predator came to an end around the same time as many other megafaunal species, likely due to a combination of climate change and human activity. One of the most fascinating aspects of Megalania was its venomous bite, a trait shared with its modern relatives, the Komodo dragon and other monitor lizards. Unlike snakes, which inject venom through specialized fangs, Megalania likely delivered its venom through grooves in its teeth, allowing the toxic saliva to seep into wounds. This venom would have caused a rapid drop in blood pressure, preventing prey from escaping and ensuring a slow, inevitable death. The combination of brute strength, sharp claws, and venom made Megalania an exceptionally efficient hunter, capable of taking down large prey with relative ease. Fossil evidence suggests it fed on a variety of animals, including giant marsupials and possibly even early humans who arrived in Australia around 65,000 years ago. The extinction of Megalania, along with much of Australia's megafauna, remains a topic of debate among scientists. Some argue that climate shifts during the late Pleistocene, which led to drier conditions and habitat fragmentation, played a significant role in their demise. Others point to the arrival of humans, who may have hunted these large animals or altered their ecosystems through fire use. Regardless of the exact cause, the disappearance of Megalania was a pivotal moment in Australia's ecological history. Its extinction allowed other species to thrive without the constant threat of such a dominant predator, reshaping the continent's biodiversity. Modern humans should be profoundly grateful that Megalania no longer exists. Its presence would have made large parts of Australia uninhabitable for early settlers, and even today, encountering a 7-meter-long venomous lizard would be a nightmare. The survival of early Aboriginal populations would have been far more challenging if they had to compete with or evade such a monstrous predator. Additionally, the extinction of Megalania prevented it from disrupting ecosystems in ways that could have cascaded into the modern era. Large predators play crucial roles in maintaining ecological balance, but a creature of Megalania's size and power could have drastically altered the food chain, possibly driving other species to extinction before humans ever had a chance to interact with them. Interestingly, the legacy of Megalania lives on in Australia's modern reptile fauna. The Parenti, Varanus giganteus, Australia's largest living lizard, is a distant relative, though it pales in comparison to its ancient cousin. The study of Megalania also provides valuable insights into the evolution of venom in reptiles, as well as the ecological dynamics of prehistoric Australia. Paleontologists continue to uncover fossils that shed light on how this giant lizard lived, hunted, and ultimately vanished. While the idea of a real-life dragon is thrilling, the reality of sharing a world with Megalania would have been perilous. Its extinction allowed humans to flourish in Australia without the constant threat of an enormous venomous predator lurking in the outback. The disappearance of such megafauna reminds us of the delicate balance of ecosystems and how the loss or introduction of a single species can have far-reaching consequences. Megalania's story is a testament to the ever-changing nature of life on Earth and a stark reminder of why we should be thankful that some creatures remain confined to the past. The helicoprion was one of the most bizarre and enigmatic creatures to ever swim the ancient oceans. This prehistoric shark-like fish lived during the late Carboniferous to early Triassic periods, roughly 290 to 250 million years ago, thriving in the seas that once covered what is now Russia, Australia, China, and North America. Unlike any shark alive today, helicoprion possessed a nightmarish spiral of teeth arranged in a whorl at the front of its lower jaw, a structure so strange that paleontologists debated its purpose for over a century. Fossilized tooth whorls, some measuring over 60 centimeters in diameter, are the primary evidence of this creature's existence, as cartilage skeletons rarely fossilize. The rest of its body likely resembled that of a large, streamlined shark, possibly reaching lengths of up to 7 meters, making it a formidable predator of its time. For years, scientists struggled to determine how helicoprion's tooth whorl functioned. Early reconstructions placed the spiral on the nose, dorsal fin, or even the tail, but modern research, aided by CT scans of fossils, suggests it was part of the lower jaw. As the creature grew, new teeth formed at the back of the spiral, while older teeth were pushed forward in a continuous loop, creating a saw-like mechanism. When helicoprion closed its mouth, the whorl likely rotated backward, slicing through prey like a circular saw. This unique adaptation would have been devastatingly effective against soft-bodied animals such as squid, fish, and early marine reptiles. Unlike modern sharks, which shed and replace teeth regularly, helicoprion retained all its teeth throughout its life, with the spiral becoming increasingly complex as it aged. The extinction of helicoprion coincided with the Permian-Triassic mass extinction event, the deadliest catastrophe in Earth's history, which wiped out nearly 90% of marine species. Volcanic eruptions, climate shifts, and ocean acidification likely destroyed its habitat and food sources. Without the deep-sea squid and fish it relied on, helicoprion vanished from the fossil record, leaving behind only its eerie tooth spirals as evidence of its existence. Its disappearance marked the end of one of evolution's most peculiar experiments in predatory adaptation. Had helicoprion survived into modern times, the oceans would be a far more terrifying place. A large, fast-moving predator with a rotating saw of teeth would have posed a serious threat to marine life, and possibly even humans. Modern squid, fish, and even small whales would have been easy prey for such a creature, potentially disrupting marine ecosystems and fisheries. The idea of encountering a helicoprion while diving or fishing is the stuff of nightmares, as its whirling teeth could inflict horrific injuries. Additionally, its presence might have outcompeted other apex predators like great white sharks, altering the balance of ocean life in unpredictable ways. One of the most fascinating aspects of helicoprion is what it reveals about the diversity of prehistoric sharks. Modern sharks are fearsome enough, but ancient seas hosted far stranger and more specialized predators. The tooth whorl remains one of the most unusual dental structures in vertebrate history, demonstrating how evolution can produce wildly different solutions to the problem of catching and consuming prey. Recent 3D modeling studies have helped scientists reconstruct how the whorl might have moved, offering new insights into the feeding mechanics of this ancient predator. While helicoprion captures the imagination as a real-life sea monster, its extinction was ultimately beneficial for the evolution of marine life. The Permian-Triassic extinction paved the way for new species, including the ancestors of modern sharks and marine reptiles. Without helicoprion dominating the seas, other creatures had the opportunity to diversify, leading to the rich marine ecosystems we know today. Its disappearance reminds us of the fragility of life and the dramatic changes Earth has undergone over millions of years. Today, helicoprion lives on in popular culture as one of the most iconic prehistoric predators, inspiring books, documentaries, and even video game monsters. Yet, as awe-inspiring as it was, we can be grateful that this whirling-toothed nightmare remains confined to the distant past. The oceans are dangerous enough without a shark that could slice its prey apart with a spinning buzzsaw jaw. Carnotaurus, the meat-eating bull, was one of the most bizarre and terrifying predators of the late Cretaceous, roaming the woodlands and floodplains of what is now Argentina around 70 million years ago. This dinosaur stood out even among its fellow theropods, with a pair of thick, horn-like brow ridges above its eyes, earning its devilish nickname, and comically tiny arms even more reduced than those of Tyrannosaurus. But what truly set Carnotaurus apart was its skin. Remarkably preserved fossils revealed a mosaic of bony scales and knobs resembling the armored plating of an armadillo, making it one of the few dinosaurs for which we have direct evidence of skin texture. This combination of horns, useless arms, and reinforced hide painted the picture of a predator unlike anything alive today. Measuring up to 8 meters long and weighing over a ton, Carnotaurus was built for speed. Its slender, muscular legs and rigid tail suggest it could sprint at remarkable speeds, possibly over 35 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest large theropods. Scientists believe it used this speed to run down prey like small ornithopods and sauropod juveniles, relying on ambush tactics rather than brute strength. Its horns, while not strong enough for ramming, may have been used in shoving matches with rivals or for display, much like modern horned lizards. The most puzzling feature, its vestigial arms, were so small they were practically non-functional, with immobile elbows and stubby fingers. Some paleontologists speculate they were evolutionary leftovers, shrinking away as the dinosaur's skull became its primary weapon. The extinction of Carnotaurus, like all non-avian dinosaurs, came with the catastrophic asteroid impact 66 million years ago. The resulting wildfires, acid rain, and nuclear winter obliterated ecosystems worldwide, wiping out predators and prey alike. In South America, where Carnotaurus thrived, the climate shifts and collapse of food chains would have doomed this specialized hunter. Its reliance on speed and ambush tactics meant it was poorly suited to survive the sudden devastation, leaving no descendants. Had Carnotaurus survived into the modern era, it would have been a nightmare predator. Its speed alone would make it a formidable threat. Imagine a 1-ton carnivore outrunning a racehorse with jaws lined with blade-like teeth. Unlike modern big cats or wolves, which can be deterred or outmaneuvered, Carnotaurus's combination of armor and relentless pursuit would have made escape nearly impossible for any human or animal caught in its path. Its armadillo-like skin, resistant to slashing attacks, would have made it nearly impervious to primitive weapons, turning hunts into deadly one-sided battles. Early human civilizations would have struggled to coexist with such a creature, possibly altering the course of human expansion in the Americas. One of the most fascinating aspects of Carnotaurus is what its existence tells us about dinosaur diversity. Most theropods followed a similar body plan: large heads, powerful legs, and grasping arms, but Carnotaurus broke the mold with its extreme adaptations. Its horns and armored skin suggest a lifestyle where intimidation and durability were just as important as hunting prowess. Recent studies even propose that its stiff tail may have functioned like a rudder, allowing for rapid turns while sprinting, a feature unseen in other large predators. The discovery of its skin impressions revolutionized our understanding of dinosaur integument, proving that some theropods had scaly, reinforced hides rather than feathers. While the idea of a horned, bullet-fast dinosaur is thrilling, its extinction allowed mammals, and eventually humans, to flourish without competing against such a specialized killer. The disappearance of Carnotaurus and its relatives paved the way for new predators to evolve, shaping ecosystems into what we know today. Modern large carnivores like lions and tigers are deadly, but they lack the sheer speed and bizarre weaponry of this Cretaceous nightmare. Today, Carnotaurus captivates audiences as one of the most distinctive dinosaurs, appearing in films and documentaries as a symbol of prehistoric weirdness. Yet, as awe-inspiring as it was, we can be grateful that this horned armored sprinter remains a relic of the past. The world is dangerous enough without a dinosaur that could chase down its prey at highway speeds, shrug off attacks, and stare down its victims with the face of a devil. Liopleurodon was the ultimate nightmare of the Jurassic seas, a monstrous marine reptile that ruled the oceans of Europe around 160 to 155 million years ago. This short-necked pliosaur, often inaccurately portrayed as being the size of a blue whale in popular media, was still an incredibly formidable predator at a confirmed 6 to 7 meters long, with some fragmentary remains suggesting even larger specimens. What made Liopleurodon truly terrifying wasn't just its size, but its weaponry, a skull measuring over 1.5 meters long armed with conical teeth the size of bananas, capable of generating one of the most powerful bite forces of any marine animal in history. Fossil evidence shows it could snap large prey in half with ease, including sharks, ichthyosaurs, and even other plesiosaurs, making it the apex predator of its time. The hunting strategy of Liopleurodon was a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. Its 4 massive flippers provided incredible maneuverability and explosive acceleration, allowing it to ambush prey with terrifying bursts of speed. Unlike modern marine predators that rely on sustained speed, Liopleurodon was built for short, violent attacks, its streamlined body and powerful muscles making it the underwater equivalent of a torpedo. Recent studies of its skull structure reveal highly developed sensory organs that could detect pressure changes in the water, essentially giving it a sixth sense for locating struggling prey. Its nostrils were specially adapted to detect blood in the water from great distances, making it the perfect hunter in the murky Jurassic seas where vision was often limited. This marine terror met its end during the late Jurassic extinction event, a period of significant climate change and reduced oxygen levels in ocean waters. As the shallow seas it hunted in began to disappear and its prey species dwindled, Liopleurodon's specialized adaptations became a liability. The changing marine ecosystems favored more generalized predators, and by the Cretaceous period, the mighty pliosaurs were replaced by mosasaurs as the dominant marine reptiles. The last Liopleurodon likely died out in an ocean that could no longer support its massive energy requirements, its reign as the ultimate sea predator ending not with a bang, but with a slow fading from existence. Humanity should be profoundly grateful that Liopleurodon never survived to modern times. Even at its confirmed size of 6-7 meters, it would be the most dangerous predator in today's oceans, capable of taking down great white sharks with a single bite and potentially viewing small boats as either competition or prey. Its hunting strategy of explosive attacks from below would make it particularly dangerous to humans in the water. Imagine a creature with the power of an orca, the aggression of a crocodile, and the ambush tactics of a great white shark. Modern marine ecosystems would be completely unbalanced with such a predator at the top of the food chain, potentially wiping out whale populations and making ocean travel significantly more hazardous. The legacy of Liopleurodon lives on in fascinating ways. Its fossilized teeth and bones continue to provide insights into marine ecosystems of the Jurassic period. Remarkably, some of the best preserved specimens were found in the Oxford Clay Formation in England, where the fine-grained sediment perfectly preserved even delicate bones. The study of Liopleurodon's flipper bones revolutionized our understanding of plesiosaur locomotion, showing how these creatures used all 4 flippers in a unique underwater flight motion rather than the rowing motion once assumed. Recent discoveries of bite marks on prehistoric shark skeletons provide gruesome evidence of its feeding habits, showing how it would often bite its prey in half before consuming the pieces. While the popular image of Liopleurodon has been exaggerated over the years, the reality remains impressive enough. This was a creature so perfectly adapted to predation that it dominated marine ecosystems for millions of years. Its extinction paved the way for new marine predators to evolve, ultimately leading to the diverse ocean ecosystems we know today. The world's oceans are dangerous enough with modern sharks and orcas. We can all be thankful that we don't have to worry about a 7-meter-long marine reptile with a bite strong enough to crush a small car. Leopleurodon's story serves as a reminder of both the incredible diversity of prehistoric life and the delicate balance that allows modern ecosystems to thrive without such monstrous predators. Smilodon, the iconic saber-toothed cat, was the ultimate mammalian predator of the Ice Age, stalking the grasslands and woodlands of North and South America between 2.5 million and 10,000 years ago. This formidable feline, often mistakenly called a tiger, was actually more closely related to modern lions, though with a radically different hunting strategy. 3 species existed, with Smilodon fatalis being the most well-known, a muscular 300-kilogram predator armed with the most impressive dental weapons nature ever produced. Its signature curved canines, measuring up to 28 centimeters in length, were precision killing tools capable of delivering devastating wounds to massive prey. Unlike modern big cats that suffocate their victims, Smilodon's hunting technique involved wrestling prey to the ground with its powerful forelimbs and delivering a single, precise bite to the throat or jugular, using its sabers like biological daggers to sever vital arteries and windpipes. The anatomy of Smilodon reveals a predator exquisitely adapted for power rather than speed. Its stocky, muscular build suggests an ambush hunter that relied on strength and surprise rather than long chases. Studies of its limb bones show it had proportionally shorter legs than modern lions, making it less suited for running but incredibly powerful in close-quarters combat. The most remarkable feature was its jaw structure. It could open its mouth to an astonishing 120-degree angle, nearly twice as wide as a modern lion, allowing those enormous canines to clear the prey's body during the killing bite. However, these impressive teeth came with vulnerabilities. They were relatively fragile and could fracture if the prey struggled excessively, which is why Smilodon evolved such powerful forelimbs to immobilize victims before delivering the fatal bite. The extinction of Smilodon coincided with the end of the last ice age around 10,000 years ago, when climate change and human activity combined to reshape ecosystems. As the Pleistocene megafauna it relied upon, mammoths, giant ground sloths, and other large herbivores began disappearing, Smilodon found itself without sufficient prey. Unlike more generalized predators like wolves or cougars that could switch to smaller game, Smilodon's specialized hunting strategy made it particularly vulnerable to ecological changes. The arrival of humans in the Americas may have accelerated its decline through both direct competition and hunting of its prey species. The last Smilodon populations likely clung to existence in isolated pockets of South America before vanishing forever, leaving behind their distinctive teeth in the fossil record as testament to their reign as apex predators. Modern humans should be profoundly grateful that Smilodon no longer prowls our wilderness. While attacks on humans were probably rare, as with most large predators, encounters would have been extraordinarily dangerous due to the cat's specialized killing technique. Unlike modern big cats that typically kill by suffocation, resulting in relatively slow deaths, Smilodon's method would have caused near instantaneous catastrophic blood loss. Its presence would have made early human settlements in the Americas exponentially more hazardous, potentially altering migration patterns and hunting practices. Even today, the existence of such a specialized large predator would make rural life in many areas untenable. Imagine a 300-kilogram feline capable of leaping onto the backs of cattle or horses and dispatching them with surgical precision. National parks and wilderness areas would be far more dangerous places to visit if these saber-toothed hunters still roamed free. Scientific study of Smilodon has yielded fascinating insights into Pleistocene ecosystems. Analysis of tooth wear patterns reveals they often cracked bones while feeding, suggesting they frequently scavenged as well as hunted. Remarkably, some specimens show healed injuries that would have left the animal unable to hunt for weeks, indicating social behavior where pack members may have shared food with injured companions. The La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles have provided an extraordinary collection of Smilodon fossils, preserved alongside their prey, giving scientists an unprecedented window into their hunting habits and the ecological web of the time. Recent isotopic analysis of their bones suggests they primarily hunted in forested areas rather than open plains, contrary to earlier assumptions. While Smilodon captures our imagination as one of the most spectacular predators to ever evolve, its extinction was ultimately necessary for the development of modern ecosystems. The disappearance of these specialized hunters allowed other carnivores to diversify and fill ecological niches, leading to the predator-prey balance we see today. The world is dangerous enough with modern big cats. We can all be thankful we don't have to worry about an ambush predator with foot-long fangs capable of taking down prey many times its size. Smilodon's legacy lives on in our fascination with prehistoric predators, serving as both a reminder of nature's incredible diversity and a warning about the fragility of specialized species in a changing world. The giant beaver, Castorides, was a colossal rodent that dominated North American waterways during the Pleistocene epoch, from about 3 million to 10,000 years ago. This massive creature grew up to 3 meters long and weighed as much as a black bear, approximately 100 kilograms, making it the largest rodent to ever inhabit North America. Unlike its modern cousin, the North American beaver, Castorides possessed unusual curved incisors that lacked the chisel-like sharpness of today's tree-felling rodents. Its teeth, combined with a flatter tail and proportionally shorter limbs, suggest it may have had a different ecological role than modern beavers. Fossil evidence indicates these giants inhabited lakes, rivers, and wetlands from Florida to the Yukon, with particularly dense populations around the Great Lakes region. Their presence would have dramatically reshaped entire ecosystems, though debate continues about whether they built massive dams like modern beavers or simply modified existing habitats in different ways. The lifestyle of Castorides presents several mysteries to paleontologists. While modern beavers are renowned for their dam-building prowess, the giant beaver's anatomy suggests it may have been less adapted for felling trees. Its teeth lack the reinforced orange enamel that gives modern beaver incisors their extraordinary durability, and its larger size would have made moving timber more challenging. Some scientists propose they were primarily aquatic browsers, feeding on soft vegetation like water lilies rather than woody plants. However, recent discoveries of possible giant beaver canals and pond sites in Ohio and Canada hint they may have created water control structures on an even grander scale than modern beavers, perhaps not with dams, but by digging channels to expand their aquatic territories. Their sheer size would have allowed them to move enormous amounts of earth and vegetation, potentially creating vast wetland complexes that influenced entire watersheds. The extinction of the giant beaver coincided with the end Pleistocene megafauna collapse around 10,000 years ago. Unlike some Ice Age giants that succumbed primarily to human hunting, Castorides likely fell victim to dramatic environmental changes as the climate warmed and dried. The disappearance of the continent's massive ice sheets altered hydrological systems, drying up many wetlands and reducing the aquatic habitats these enormous rodents required. As forests replaced tundra and parkland, the vegetation they depended on may have become scarcer. The arrival of humans may have played a secondary role, not through direct hunting, but through competition for resources and alteration of fire regimes that maintained preferred habitats. The last populations probably persisted in isolated wetland refuges before finally disappearing, leaving only their distinctive teeth and occasional bones in Pleistocene deposits. Humanity should appreciate the extinction of Castorides for several practical reasons. Had these mega-rodents survived, they would have presented significant challenges to modern infrastructure and land use. A single modern beaver can fell hundreds of trees annually and flood acres of land. Imagine the impact of a 100-kilogram version with even greater strength. Their potential to alter waterways would have complicated agriculture, transportation, and settlement patterns across North America. Early European colonists already struggled with regular beavers. Giant beavers could have dammed major rivers, redirected entire tributaries, and created impassable flood zones. Modern water management systems would face constant battles against these natural engineers. Additionally, while not aggressive, an animal of that size could be dangerous when cornered, with powerful incisors capable of inflicting serious wounds. Their ecological impact would have been profound, potentially outcompeting modern beavers and dramatically altering wetland ecosystems across the continent. Scientific study of Castoroides has provided remarkable insights into Pleistocene ecology. Isotope analysis of their teeth reveals they preferred warmer, wetland environments rather than the colder regions inhabited by many Ice Age megafauna. Some fossil sites show associations with other extinct giants like mastodons, suggesting these massive herbivores may have created ideal habitats by breaking up forest canopies and maintaining open wetlands. Intriguingly, Native American legends from the Great Lakes region describe enormous beaver-like creatures, possibly representing cultural memories of Castoroides from the time when humans and these giants briefly coexisted. Recent discoveries of cut marks on giant beaver bones at archaeological sites provide tantalizing evidence that Paleo-Indians occasionally hunted them, though they were probably not a primary food source due to their aquatic habits and limited distribution. While the world is poorer for having lost such an extraordinary creature, the disappearance of Castoroides allowed modern beavers to thrive and assume their role as ecosystem engineers. The smaller size and different behaviors of today's beavers make them more compatible with human-altered landscapes, even as they still significantly impact environments. The giant beaver's legacy lives on in scientific curiosity and in our imagination, a reminder of when North America's waterways were patrolled by rodent giants capable of reshaping entire landscapes. Their extinction marked the end of an era when rodents reached sizes we can scarcely comprehend today, leaving us to wonder what our lakes and rivers might look like if these colossal builders still patrolled their waters. Glyptodon was one of the most extraordinary creatures of the Pleistocene epoch. A walking fortress that roamed the grasslands and woodlands of South America from about 5.3 million to 11,000 years ago, before spreading north during the Great American Biotic Interchange. This massive relative of modern armadillos resembled a Volkswagen Beetle in both size and shape, measuring up to 3 meters long and weighing as much as 2 tons. Its most striking feature was an impenetrable dome-shaped carapace composed of over 1,000 interlocking bony plates called osteoderms, forming a natural suit of armor that made it virtually invulnerable to predators. Unlike its smaller armored cousins, Glyptodon couldn't roll into a ball for protection. Instead, it relied on its sheer size and formidable tail club, which could deliver crushing blows to any threat. Fossil evidence shows these prehistoric tanks were particularly abundant in what is now Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil, where they grazed on grasses and other vegetation using their simple peg-like teeth. The biology of Glyptodon reveals fascinating adaptations to its heavily armored lifestyle. Its vertebrae were fused to the carapace, creating an inflexible but incredibly strong structure that could withstand tremendous force. The creature's short, stocky legs ending in clawed feet suggest it was a slow but powerful mover, capable of digging for roots and tubers when necessary. Recent studies of its skull morphology indicate it had a specialized muscular tongue and flexible lips for selective feeding, allowing it to be quite particular about the plants it consumed. Perhaps most impressive was its tail weapon. Some species developed a bony club at the end resembling a medieval mace, while others had spiked rings that could inflict serious damage. Analysis of fossilized armor shows signs of healed injuries, suggesting these animals regularly engaged in combat, possibly over mates or territory. Unlike modern armadillos, Glyptodon couldn't curl up for protection, so its survival depended on facing threats head-on with its armored front and powerful tail. The extinction of Glyptodon around 11,000 years ago coincided with the end Pleistocene megafauna collapse that wiped out numerous large mammals across the Americas. While climate change undoubtedly played a role as grasslands transformed into different ecosystems, human hunting appears to have been the decisive factor in Glyptodon's demise. Archaeological sites in South America contain Glyptodon bones with clear-cut marks and evidence of being cooked, showing early humans actively hunted these armored giants. Their slow reproductive rate, likely only producing one offspring at a time after a long gestation, made them particularly vulnerable to human predation. The last Glyptodons probably perished as human populations expanded throughout their range, their massive size and predictable behavior making them easy targets despite their formidable defenses. Their disappearance marked the end of an entire lineage of giant armored mammals that had thrived for millions of years. Modern civilization should be profoundly grateful. Glyptodon went extinct when it did. Had these 2-ton armored tanks survived into historical times, they would have presented enormous challenges to agriculture and settlement. A single Glyptodon could demolish fences, crush crops, and destroy small buildings simply by moving through them. Imagine the damage a herd could do to cultivated fields or early settlements. Their digging habits would have caused extensive damage to roads and foundations, while their territorial nature might have made them aggressive toward humans and livestock. Early farmers would have struggled to protect their fields from creatures that were essentially living bulldozers covered in natural armor. Even today, a surviving population would require massive habitat modifications and create constant conflicts at the urban-wildland interface. Their extinction allowed human civilizations in South America to develop without having to constantly defend their crops and villages against these prehistoric tanks. Scientific study of Glyptodon has provided remarkable insights into Pleistocene ecology and evolution. The creature's armor plates grow in distinctive patterns that allow paleontologists to identify different species, much like tree rings record annual growth. Isotope analysis of their bony plates reveals details about their diet and the ancient environments they inhabited. Remarkably, some indigenous South American peoples used abandoned Glyptodon shells as shelters, and there are accounts of early European settlers mistaking their massive fossilized carapaces for the remains of giant turtles. Recent discoveries have shown that Glyptodon's closest living relative isn't the giant armadillo as once thought, but actually the tiny, unassuming pink fairy armadillo, demonstrating how dramatically evolution can reshape body plans over time. Fossilized footprints show these creatures sometimes moved in groups, suggesting possible social behavior, unlike their solitary modern relatives. While the world is poorer for having lost such an extraordinary creature, the disappearance of Glyptodon allowed human civilization to flourish in South America without competing with these massive herbivores. Modern armadillos continue their ancient lineage in a much more modest form, their small size allowing them to coexist with human development. Glyptodon's legacy lives on in scientific research and in the cultural memory of indigenous peoples, serving as a reminder of when mammals grew to incredible sizes and evolved astonishing defensive adaptations. These armored giants represent one of evolution's most impressive experiments in biological armor, a testament to nature's creativity that we can now only appreciate through their fossilized remains. Their extinction marked the end of an era when mammals rivaled dinosaurs in their development of formidable defensive weaponry, leaving us to wonder what our landscapes might look like if these prehistoric tanks still roamed the grasslands. Megalodapus was a bizarre and magnificent primate that ruled the forests of Madagascar until relatively recent times, disappearing only about 500 years ago. This giant lemur, roughly the size of a female gorilla, stood in stark contrast to its tiny modern relatives, weighing up to 150 kilograms and measuring nearly 1.5 meters tall when sitting upright. Its most striking features were enormous, forward-facing eyes that gave it an owl-like appearance and likely provided exceptional night vision, and powerful jaws equipped with robust teeth designed for chewing tough vegetation. Unlike any living primate, Megalodapus had a long, thick body with short, powerful limbs adapted for climbing and moving through Madagascar's dense forests in a slow, methodical fashion. Its hands and feet were specialized for grasping tree trunks rather than delicate branch movement, suggesting it spent most of its life clinging vertically to large trees like a living, furry koala. Fossil evidence shows these remarkable primates were widespread across Madagascar, from dry deciduous forests to humid rainforests, occupying an ecological niche completely unlike any primate alive today. The anatomy of Megalodapus reveals a creature exquisitely adapted to its island environment. Its skull was unlike any other primates, flattened with a small brain case, enormous eye sockets, and nasal bones that suggest an acute sense of smell. Studies of its tooth wear patterns indicate it fed primarily on leaves, supplemented by fruit and possibly bark, making it one of the few truly folivorous primates to reach such massive size. Its digestive system likely resembled that of a sloth or koala, with an enlarged gut for fermenting tough plant material. Remarkably, analysis of its inner ear structure suggests it moved with extreme caution, probably spending most of its time in the forest canopy, moving slowly between feeding sites. Unlike modern lemurs that leap between trees, Megalodapus likely climbed down trees tail first, like a sloth, when needing to cross ground between forest patches. Recent discoveries of subfossil remains show individuals often suffered from healed fractures, suggesting falls were a significant hazard for these heavy, tree-dwelling giants. The extinction of Megalodapus coincided with human arrival and subsequent environmental changes on Madagascar around 500 to 1,000 years ago. As human populations expanded, they cleared forests for agriculture and likely hunted these slow-moving giants for food. The combination of habitat loss and direct predation proved devastating for Megalodapus. Its large size meant it required substantial territory and reproduced slowly, making populations particularly vulnerable to disturbance. Additionally, the introduction of domestic animals like dogs may have preyed on juveniles or harassed adults. Climate shifts toward drier conditions during this period may have further stressed populations by reducing their preferred forest habitats. The last Megalodapus probably died out in remote forest pockets, their disappearance marking the end of an entire lineage of giant lemurs that had evolved in isolation for millions of years. Humanity should appreciate the extinction of Megalodapus for several practical reasons. Had these giant primates survived into modern times, they would present significant conservation challenges due to their large size and specialized habitat requirements. Protecting viable populations would require enormous tracts of intact forest, potentially conflicting with human development needs on an island already facing severe environmental pressures. Their slow movements and curiosity toward humans might have made them vulnerable to poaching or accidental harm. Additionally, at 150 kilograms with powerful jaws, a cornered or threatened Megalodapus could have been dangerous, especially if humans encroached on its territory. Modern Madagascar's remaining lemur species are threatened enough without competing with a giant relative for food and habitat. The survival of today's unique but smaller lemurs might have been jeopardized by continued coexistence with their massive cousin. Scientific study of Megalodapus has provided remarkable insights into primate evolution and island ecosystems. Subfossil remains found in caves and swamps show signs of butchery, proving early Malagasy people hunted them. Remarkably, some Malagasy legends describe creatures resembling Megalodapus, suggesting human memory of these giants persisted after their extinction. Studies of their limb bones reveal they were climbers rather than leapers, moving through forests in a completely different way than any living primate. Dental analysis shows they underwent seasonal changes in diet, switching from leaves to fruit depending on availability. Recent CT scans of skulls have provided unprecedented details about their brain structure, showing relatively small visual processing areas despite their large eyes, suggesting they relied more on smell and slow, deliberate movement than sharp vision for navigating their world. While the world is poorer for having lost such an extraordinary primate, the disappearance of Megalodapus allowed smaller lemur species to flourish in Madagascar's changing environments. These giant lemurs represent one of evolution's most dramatic examples of island gigantism among primates, a testament to how isolation can produce truly remarkable creatures. Their legacy lives on in scientific research and conservation efforts, serving as a sobering reminder of how quickly human activities can drive even the most distinctive species to extinction. The story of Megalodapus underscores the fragility of island ecosystems and the responsibility we bear as stewards of Earth's remaining unique creatures, ensuring that Madagascar's surviving lemurs don't follow their giant cousin into oblivion. Steller's sea cow was a colossal marine mammal that inhabited the cold waters around the Commander Islands in the Bering Sea until its tragic extinction in 1768. Discovered by Europeans in 1741 during Vitus Bering's ill-fated expedition, this massive sirenian reached lengths of up to 9 meters and weighed an astonishing 8–10 tons, nearly 3 times the size of modern manatees. Its streamlined body was covered in bark-like skin up to 2.5 centimeters thick, with small bristles providing a velvety texture. Unlike its tropical relatives, Steller's sea cow was uniquely adapted to subarctic conditions, surviving on a diet of kelp that it grazed in shallow coastal waters. Historical accounts describe it as a docile, social creature that moved in small family groups, its slow movements and lack of fear making it tragically vulnerable to human exploitation. The species' entire known population was concentrated around a few remote islands, having already disappeared from most of its former Pacific range before European discovery, likely due to prehistoric hunting by indigenous peoples. The biology of Steller's sea cow revealed several remarkable adaptations to its harsh environment. Its massive size helped conserve heat in frigid waters, while specialized ribs provided ballast to keep the animal submerged while feeding. Observations by Georg Steller, the naturalist who first documented the species, noted its peculiar feeding habits, using its rough, plate-like teeth to grind kelp, then employing 2 white, claw-like forelimbs to grasp vegetation and pull itself through kelp beds. Unlike modern sirenians that must surface frequently to breathe, Steller's sea cow could reportedly remain submerged for up to 15 minutes, an adaptation to rough northern seas. Recent analysis of preserved skin samples suggests its thick hide contained unusual concentrations of blood vessels near the surface, possibly helping regulate body temperature in cold water. The sea cow's intestines measured an extraordinary 150 meters in length, necessary for extracting nutrients from its fibrous seaweed diet. Fossil evidence indicates these gentle giants were once widespread across the North Pacific, from Japan to California, before retreating to their final refuge in the Commander Islands. The extinction of Steller's sea cow stands as one of history's most rapid and preventable ecological tragedies. Within just 27 years of its scientific discovery, relentless hunting by Russian fur traders wiped out the entire population. The sea cows were targeted as easy meat to feed otter hunting expeditions. Their trusting nature made them simple prey, and a single individual could provide several tons of meat that reportedly tasted like high-quality beef. By 1768, the last sea cow was killed, marking the disappearance of the only cold-adapted sirenian in modern times. The speed of its extinction was exacerbated by several factors. The species' slow reproductive rate, with likely just 1 calf every few years, its limited geographic range, and its specialized ecological requirements. Unlike other marine mammals that could flee or dive to escape hunters, Steller's sea cows were essentially trapped in their small island habitat, unable to survive in deeper waters or relocate to safer areas. Humanity should reflect on the extinction of Steller's sea cow with profound regret rather than gratitude, as its loss represents one of our first clear examples of reckless overexploitation leading to irreversible ecological consequences. However, had the species survived, it might have presented unique conservation challenges today. At 10 tons with no natural fear of humans, surviving populations would require massive protected areas free from ship traffic, fishing gear, and pollution. Their appetite for kelp, consuming an estimated 3 tons daily, could potentially conflict with modern seaweed farming operations. That said, the real lesson of Steller's sea cow isn't why we should be thankful for its extinction, but rather how urgently we need to protect remaining marine megafauna from similar fates. The sea cow's tragic story directly inspired early conservation efforts for other marine mammals, like fur seals and sea otters, proving even in the 18th century that humans could drive entire species to extinction through greed and short-sightedness. Scientific study of Steller's sea cow continues to yield valuable insights despite its extinction over 250 years ago. In 2017, DNA analysis revealed the species diverged from other sirenians about 20 million years ago, making it far more distinct than previously realized. Occasionally, bones and even preserved tissues still wash ashore in the Bering Sea, allowing researchers to study its biology in unprecedented detail. Historical accounts describe fascinating behaviors. Mothers reportedly protected their young by pushing them toward shore when threatened, and adults would form defensive circles around injured group members. The sea cow's disappearance had immediate ecological consequences. Without their constant grazing, kelp forests around the Commander Islands grew denser, altering coastal ecosystems. Modern efforts to reconstruct the sea cow's genome have raised tantalizing questions about potential de-extinction, though significant ethical and practical hurdles remain. The legacy of Steller's sea cow serves as a powerful cautionary tale about human impact on vulnerable species. Its rapid extinction shocked even 18th century observers and helped lay groundwork for modern conservation biology. While we might imagine how its survival could complicate certain human activities today, the true significance lies in what its loss taught us about ecological responsibility. The sea cow's story continues to inspire marine protection efforts worldwide, reminding us that even the most abundant-seeming species can quickly vanish without careful stewardship. Its ghost still haunts the North Pacific, not just as a lost biological wonder, but as an enduring symbol of how quickly humanity can erase millions of years of evolution when short-term gain overrides long-term wisdom. Anomalocaris was the apex predator of the Cambrian seas, a nightmarish creature that patrolled the oceans over 500 million years ago during the geological period when complex life first exploded in diversity. This ancient arthropod, whose name means abnormal shrimp, was anything but ordinary, reaching lengths of up to 1 meter in an era when most organisms were no larger than a fingernail. Its bizarre anatomy combined features never seen before or since: a segmented body covered in flexible lobes for swimming, a circular mouth lined with serrated plates resembling a pineapple slice, and a pair of spiny, segmented appendages protruding from its head that could grab and crush prey with terrifying efficiency. Fossil evidence from the Burgess Shale in Canada and Chengjiang deposits in China reveals Anomalocaris was widely distributed across prehistoric oceans, occupying the top of the food chain in ecosystems that were just beginning to develop complex predator-prey relationships. Its appearance was so alien that when paleontologists first discovered its fragmented fossils in the late 19th century, they misidentified its body parts as separate organisms. The grasping appendages were thought to be shrimp tails. The circular mouth was classified as a jellyfish, and the body segments were mistaken for sea cucumbers. The hunting strategy of Anomalocaris represented a revolutionary leap in evolutionary innovation. Its large compound eyes, among the most sophisticated visual organs of the Cambrian, contained thousands of lenses, giving it unparalleled sight to track prey in the dimly lit waters. The flexible frontal appendages could snap forward with surprising speed to capture organisms like trilobites and primitive arthropods, then pass them to the circular mouth where rotating plates sliced them into digestible pieces. Recent biomechanical studies suggest its mouthparts could generate significant force, but weren't strong enough to crush hard-shelled prey. Instead, It likely targeted softer-bodied organisms or juvenile forms of armored species. Its swimming technique was equally remarkable. The undulating movements of its lateral lobes created a graceful, wave-like motion that propelled it efficiently through the water column. Some specimens preserve evidence of a fan-like tail structure that may have provided stabilization and quick bursts of speed when attacking prey. The discovery of fossilized trilobites with crescent-shaped wounds matching Anomalocaris' mouthparts provides direct evidence of its predatory habits, though debate continues about whether it actively hunted or scavenged most of its meals. The extinction of Anomalocaris occurred as the Cambrian period transitioned into the Ordovician around 485 million years ago, when shifting ocean conditions and increased competition rendered its specialized hunting adaptations less effective. As new predators evolved with more advanced defensive and offensive capabilities, Anomalocaris' relatively simple anatomy became a liability. Changes in sea level and oxygen concentrations may have disrupted the delicate ecosystems it depended on, while the evolution of harder-shelled prey made its feeding apparatus less efficient. Its disappearance marked the end of an evolutionary experiment in predation. No subsequent creature would ever replicate its unique combination of grasping appendages and circular saw-like mouth. The niche it occupied was eventually filled by more advanced arthropods and early vertebrates that proved better adapted to changing marine environments. While Anomalocaris vanished from the fossil record, its legacy lived on in the basic predatory body plan that would be refined by later species: forward-facing eyes, grasping limbs, and efficient swimming structures all became standard features in marine predators. Humanity should appreciate the extinction of Anomalocaris for several profound reasons. Had this ancient predator survived and continued evolving, the entire trajectory of marine ecosystems might have unfolded differently, potentially altering the evolutionary path that eventually led to vertebrates and ultimately humans. Its presence in modern oceans would create nightmarish scenarios. Imagine meter-long arthropods with vice-like claws patrolling coastal waters, capable of shredding fishing nets and attacking divers. The tourism and fishing industries would face unprecedented challenges with such efficient predators competing for marine resources. Additionally, as an apex predator without modern analogs, Anomalocaris could destabilize food webs by preying on commercially important species while having few natural predators of its own. The psychological impact alone would be significant. There's something primal about its alien appearance that triggers deep unease, a reminder of when Earth's oceans were ruled by creatures far stranger than anything in today's seas. Scientific study of Anomalocaris continues to revolutionize our understanding of the Cambrian explosion. Advanced imaging techniques have revealed previously unknown details about its nervous system, showing similarities to modern arthropods and velvet worms. Remarkably, some specimens preserve traces of its circulatory system, offering clues about how such large, active organisms functioned in low-oxygen Cambrian seas. The discovery of related species like Amplectobalua in China demonstrates Anomalocaris was part of a diverse group of anomalocaridids that dominated early marine ecosystems. Recent computer modeling of its swimming mechanics suggests it was more maneuverable than initially thought, capable of precise movements that would make it an effective hunter. Fossilized gut contents reveal it consumed a variety of organisms, challenging earlier assumptions that it specialized only on trilobites. The ongoing study of these creatures provides critical insights into how predation shaped the rapid diversification of life during the Cambrian, forcing prey species to develop shells, toxins, and escape strategies in an early evolutionary arms race. While the world is richer for having known such extraordinary creatures through fossils, Anomalocaris belongs firmly in the prehistoric past. Its extinction allowed other evolutionary experiments to unfold, ultimately leading to the more familiar marine ecosystems we know today. The story of Anomalocaris serves as both a testament to life's incredible creativity and a reminder that most evolutionary experiments eventually end. Only a few designs stand the test of geological time. These ancient predators continue to captivate scientists and the public alike, their otherworldly appearance challenging our notions of what life can look like. As we uncover more about their biology and ecology, Anomalocaris remains the ultimate symbol of Earth's first great age of predators, a time when the rules of life were being written in the strange anatomy of creatures unlike anything that would follow.